Hello, welcome back. Now we're going to start getting into the How to Win Friends, Influence People book, and I think you're going to really enjoy it. In some level, this module is a bit of a continuation of the intro that you just went through. One other point I want to make is I'm providing a little extra value here. Although this is primarily How to Win Friends, Influence People, I've also incorporated a little bit from another book called How to Have Confidence and Power in Dealing with People by a fellow by the name of Les Giblin, Giblin. If you ever get a chance to pick up that book, you might want to do it as well. But the combination of the two, I think, really fills in all the gaps that people need in terms of developing their people skills. So I wanted to include that, even though I didn't promote that in any of the advertising material. So just wanted you to know that. Now, the big point in that intro was we want you to keep an open mind, because a lot of the things we're going to talk about are things that weren't necessarily taught to anyone in school. People who get good at people skills, most of them develop it through trial and error or over time. What the book tries to do is get you to that point faster, so you don't have to have all the grief and pain of learning this stuff through trial and error. So I hope that solidifies that the idea that you're going to keep an open mind to some of these things, even if they sound a little strange, because your present thoughts have brought you to your current situation. Now, most of you are wherever you currently are. You have some goals and objectives that you want to accomplish, promotions at work, raises you want to get, things like that, better relationships with your spouse, kids, all those things. Wherever you are now, what you already know has put you there. So by adding this material is the only way you're going to improve your situation, is to get new information. And that's what we're trying to provide here. So to get better results, you will need to change some things. You're going to have to change your thinking. And by changing your thinking, you're going to end up changing your behavior. And ultimately, if you change behavior, you're going to get some better results. So that's kind of what we're trying to do here. Now, Carnegie is well known for the statistics here that are on the screen, emphasizing that the key to success, according to Dale Carnegie, is basically 15% technical skills, 85% people skills. Because fundamentally, and it also adds in a Harvard study that was done on why people are fired, and it's only 1/3 of people are fired because of their inability to do the job. And that, if you think about it, makes sense, because they wouldn't have been hired if they didn't have the ability to do the job. So if it didn't work out 6 months, a year down the road, it's not because they probably couldn't do the job. It's 2/3 is the inability to deal with people. These are either customers, co-workers, or top or management, their boss. They just couldn't get along and make it work. Now, I've seen some studies that show as much as 95% of reason people are fired are people problems. They're just not likable. Nobody likes to be around them. So with that in mind, I want to add one thing. This is not in any of the books, but this comes from me teaching leadership classes over many years. People can get a little too hooked on this. I probably shouldn't say this, given this is a course really about people skills. But fundamentally, you have to have the technical skills. In leadership classes, we talk about this task versus relationships. What's more important, task versus relationships? And generally, we would talk in terms of 15% task, 85% people skills. When you get into real life, I think you have to add in a little caution about this. You can have the greatest people skills in the world, but if you don't get the task done, we're probably going to fire you. I'm going to regret firing you because I like you, because you have people skills, but you're still getting fired. So even though people skills are hugely important, don't ever forget, you got to get the basic job done. Now, the better your people skills, probably the more likely you're going to get that done. But don't think of this as one or the other, that you can get by with just people skills. That'll last for a while, but you're going to get fired. You got to get the job done. Task, I still say, it's a little bit controversial, but I still think getting the task done is your number one most important thing. Your relationships and people skills after that come second. You got to get the task done. But again, with that said, we're going to move back. Here's what you're going to learn in the book. Number one, basic people skills. Number two, we're going to show you how to make people like you. Basically, you're going to have a more likable personality, and being liked is very important. 3, we're going to show you how to persuade people to your point of view. This is generally viewed as sort of the sales section of the book. However, I consider it much broader than that, because you're trying to persuade people to your point of view when you're talking to your spouse, when you're talking to your children, trying to get them to clean their room, when you're talking to anyone in any field. Persuasion, getting people to go to the restaurant you want to go to eat at for lunch. All those things are persuasion. And you're going to be much more powerful after you complete the course. Number 4, you're going to learn how to get people to change. Hopefully so they want to change, and not, you can get people to change by ordering them around. Do this, do that, but it's long term not going to be effective. And we're going to give you some very concrete technique to get you to, or allow you to convince people that it is in their best interest to change. That's a very powerful skill. He talks a little bit about writing skills, improving your writing and communication through writing. And then finally kind of wraps up with the overall how to be happy, which is something everybody wants. So that's the kind of the 30,000 foot view of where we're going.